What it do? How you doing? I am back with another video. Today, EandE family, I'm showing you how to make a chicken pizza on a homemade crust. Don't go nowhere. So, as with any good pizza recipe, we're going to start with some flour, y'all. I'm using bread flour for this. You can use all-purpose flour as well. I just find that bread flour gives it the extra crunch and crispiness that I like on a pizza crust. So I'm going to start by adding 2 to 2.5 cups of bread flour to my mixer. And we're going to use our dough attachment for this. So that's 2.5 cups of bread flour. Next, we're going to add a tablespoon of granulated sugar. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. So the next thing I have is some yeast. This is 3/4 cup of water, 1 package of active dry yeast, and a teaspoon of sugar, which helps it to poof. So we're going to add that to our mixture. So next we're going to get our dough attachment down into our bowl. And we're going to let this combine for about 3 to 5 minutes. You want it to combine till it forms a ball in your bowl. You can also do this by hand. I just find it easier to do it in my mixer. So we're going to go about 3 to 5 minutes just until our dough starts to form a ball, and you'll want it to have a sticky consistency. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So our dough has formed a nice ball. And I just like to work it a little bit before I stick it in my greased bowl. So I have my bowl here. I've just put a little olive oil in my bowl. You can twirl it like this to get everything all coated or whatnot. And then I'm going to sit my dough down into my greased bowl, and I turn over on both sides with the oil so each side gets an even coating. So we're going to put some plastic wrap over this and sit it in a warm place and let it double in size for about 30 to 45 minutes. When we come back, we're going to make the pizza sauce to go on top of our pizza dough. Don't go nowhere. So the first thing we're going to add to our pan for our pizza sauce is some tomato sauce. Yeah, I'm just pouring the whole can in there because there's no sense in leaving any behind. So next I'm going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. And let me get that mixed around in there so we don't have that big old clump of tomato paste just laying there. So next we're going to add some seasoning. So we're going to add some garlic powder. We're going to add some black pepper. We're going to add some onion powder. We're going to add some oregano, some Italian seasoning, some crushed red pepper, a little salt, and a little sugar to bring it all together. So let's get that mixed around. Get everything combined. So I'm going to give this a little taste just to make sure that we have all of the ingredients that we need in here. So I'm going to let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. We want all the seasonings and everything to get combined into our sauce. When we come back, we're going to put our pizza together. Don't go nowhere. So our dough doubled in size. And we're just going to get it. It's a lot of oil in here, y'all. We're just going to get it rolled out to get onto our pan. Now, if you have a pizza pan, you can definitely roll yours out. Put yours on a pizza pan. But I'm just using a sheet tray for mine. So I got my rolling pin here. And I'm just going to get this rolled out. And I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more flour to the top of my dough so my rolling pin doesn't stick. And I'm using the bread flour that I used for the dough. So I lightly greased my pan with some olive oil. And I got my dough on my pan. And we're just going to stretch her out a little bit so we fill in all the spaces. And we could take a little of the excess off on the side and fill in any space that might be a little thin, like in here and over in the corners. So get her all down in there like that. I'm going to get a knife and a fork. I'm going to cut the excess off from around the edge. And I'm going to use a little of the excess to fill in my spaces on my pizza dough that need to be filled in. So now I'm going to take my fork and I'm just going to go around and I'm going to poke holes in my crust so that my pizza dough doesn't puff up on me. We're just going to go around and poke some holes in our crust like that. So now it's time for the best part, the toppings. So we're going to start with our sauce. We'll add some sauce. Let me stir it around a little bit. So we're going to start with a little sauce. And get that spread out over our crust. So I'm going to add a little more Italian seasoning. I'm not going to add any more garlic powder or red pepper or anything like that because it has enough of that in it. But I'm going to add a little bit more Italian seasoning and a little bit more oregano. Although we put that in our sauce, I'm just going to add a little bit more here. Okay, so next is our cheese. I just have a 6-blend Italian cheese that I like to use. You can use pizza cheese, mozzarella, whatever you like on your pizza. But I'm using this 6-blend Italian. So we're going to get that on there. Okay, so I got all my cheese on. Next, I'm going to add my chicken. And this is, I actually bought this in my frozen food, in the frozen food section of my grocery store. It's, they're called, I think, grilling strips or something like that. Very flavorful, very tasty. You can cook up some chicken breasts and season them and cut them up, but I just found this was a little easier and simpler. So let's get our chicken on here. And we might have to do like a half and half pizza because I don't believe I have enough chicken for the entire pizza. I don't think anyway. So next I'm going to add some banana pepper. You can add whatever topping you want to this. You could do like your green peppers, red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper. You could add olives, onions. But this is what I'm adding to this one today. We got our banana pepper. And then next, I just have a can of Rotel tomatoes. It's diced tomatoes and green chili. Easy and simple, y'all. And I'm going to add that to the pizza. So simple and easy. If you don't want to make your pizza crust, you don't have to. You can go buy a store-bought crust and do the same thing. But I thought I'd show you how I like to do it on a homemade pizza crust. And that's it, y'all. That's what your homemade chicken side of the pizza should look like. So I'm going to put this in a 400-degree oven, and it's going to bake until our crust is crispy and golden on the bottom. Y'all been here before. You already know what's going to happen. When we come back, we're going to get a taste of this amazing, delicious, homemade chicken pizza and pepperoni. You don't want to miss this. Y'all don't go nowhere. Look at it. That's our pepperoni on that side, but that's our chicken on this side. Looks delicious. But we not being fancy today, y'all. We using paper plates, okay? Shout out to my brother for putting me on to this chicken pizza recipe. I've had it on like a pre-made crust, but never on my crust. So let's dive in and see what it tastes like. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. That is delicious. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Mm. You can taste all those seasonings. You can taste the chicken. You can taste the sauce that I made, all the seasonings and the sauce, the top. Oh man, that's good. Let's go ahead and taste our pepperoni. We already know what pepperoni tastes like, but why not? Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. That's good too. Mm-hmm. Mm. You gotta try the chicken out though. That's really good. It's a nice switch up from the regular pepperoni. Mm-hmm. Mm. I really like that. Oh yeah. Your friends and family, they're gonna love that. Mm-hmm. As I always tell you, EandE family, I promise you will not be disappointed. And that's it for today, EandE fam. Like, share, comment on this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that you can be notified when a new video is uploaded. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The links are in the description box below. And as always, EandE family, don't forget to live a little and love a lot. Y'all be easy. Try out that chicken pizza, y'all. I don't steer you wrong. Bye, y'all.